and start this mom talk. And I try to do mom talk about 15 minutes. Sometimes it goes to 45 minutes, just depending on how deep the conversation is, how many questions we have, and all that other great stuff. And our speakers usually do something nice for one of the lucky participants. So I'm happy to be the host of Mom Talk and have this for you in this a monthly segment. And today we have our guest mom, Reba Corrine. She is a certified sex educator and the founder of and CEO of Sexpert Consultants. And she is going to talk to us about SEX. And we have a couple of topics we're going to talk about for our group. So I want to put it over to Reba so that she can, start and talk about her. And just Reba, tell us who you are. Outside of those titles that I mentioned, the consultant, the educator, founder, CEO, like who is Reba? Tell me more.
No, I mean, I'm just a regular girl. I'm not anything fun like a former stripper or sex worker or anything like that. But I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I have a blended family with 5 kids, ages 21 all the way down to 5. One biological baby girl, but all the kids live under my roof. So, well, no, not all of them. Most of them, though, live under my roof. And so I'm the mom to like a bunch of kids at a pretty, I'd say, young age. I'm 33. And so I've been doing this work for about 5 years. And I kind of fell into it as like almost like a joke, right? Like I've always been that person that people come to like ask all their crazy sexual questions, because sex has never been like something that I'm scared to talk about, right? From a really early age, my dad taught me like, this is what it is. Here's an anatomy book when I was in the 2nd grade. Like, this is how penises and vaginas and vulvas work. And so it's always been kind of just like, okay, this is how our bodies work. And I realized really early that like, that is not the case for most people. And so over the years, I've realized that like, I've been called to do this work. Like, this isn't, if you had told me 6 years ago, like I started my business 5 years ago. So if you told me a year before I started my business that I was going to be a full-time sex educator, I probably would have laughed you under the table. I was writing grants for nonprofits. Like I was selling sex toys as like my side hustle, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a pure romance or passion parties, but that's what I was doing. And I realized that I less enjoyed the whole like, please buy a dildo from me. And I really loved the like, let me tell you what a clitoris is. Did you know that 90% of it is inside of your body? And people are always like, oh, what? And so I got my certification so that I could, know what I'm talking about. And I started teaching these workshops. And so I'm known as the blowjob class lady. Like that's what I teach. It's a fellatio workshop and it's very professional. And I use a PowerPoint and I teach 20 tricks for getting the job done faster. And it sells out without me having to really market it too much, because we don't get this information from anywhere, right? You don't learn it in school. Your parents are less likely to teach you about orgasms and how those work, right? And so you learn either through experience or through porn. And like, neither really one of those are great teachers when it comes to your body and your pleasure. So.
Wow. Okay. So 2nd grade, I have a rising kindergartner. So I need to figure out if I'm going to go the birds of the bees route or a different route with him.
So I have a 5-year-old as well. And here's what I can say, right? Because this is a blog post that I just did on the blog. So it's sexpertconsultants.com/blog. And our latest blog post is about how to talk to your kids about sex, because it's one thing to like talk about it with adults, right? It's another thing, like, what do you say to a child? And even I, who, teach pleasure positive sex education, I struggle with talking about sex with my 5-year-old, and now with my 11-year-old boy, my 5-year-old girl, my 11-year-old boy, and my 18 and 21-year-old boy, like older boys that come in and out of the house. So it's everybody has to take their own route, right? It really depends on what you're comfortable with. But at this young of an age, it's how your body works. It's as a penis, not a wee-wee or a, I don't know what you call it. It's a penis though, right? Because if someone were to touch your child inappropriately, right, and they say my wing ding or my wee-wee, like it's a penis. Okay.
And what's funny is that, well, not funny, especially not when we heard it. Like our little one knew the word penis from his first school when he was like 2 or 3.
Wow.
And yeah. And they told us because if somebody touches them, they want to know the exact part, and they had anatomically correct dolls and everything like that. So I was like, oh, okay. It kind of had me look at it a different light because it's a crazy world we live in right now.
Right, but on the surface, oh my God, you're telling my son about his penis. It's like the protective instinct is like, who is talking to my son about his penis? Only I talk to my son about his penis, and even I don't talk to my son about his penis.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
So, thanks for like sharing that. With you talking so young to your child, it really, I mean, it's prevalent. Like it's out there in the world, and if we don't talk to them about it, somebody else will.
Yeah,
So,
I had to teach my daughter like the difference between a vulva and a vagina, right? Because a vulva is what's on the outside, and the vagina is what's on the inside. And so, if somebody grabs you by the vulva, like, okay, that's one thing. But if they put things into your vagina, like that's something totally different. And so, teaching her, teaching her has been really tough because my dad was trying to play a game with her, and she was like, G-Pop, this is a girls only game. And he said, so baby girl, I can't play? She said, do you have a vulva or a vagina? My dad was so taken aback. He was like, what?
I could imagine. So since we're moms, right, and you're the sex educator, let's talk about sex after baby and like how do we talk to our significant other about sex? Like, what is your take on those things? And then what can you educate us about? And those viewers who are going to watch the playback.
Yeah. So those two things are like the two biggest barriers to sex for most women, right? It's sex after baby, like what our bodies change and things happen. And for a lot of women, right? For a lot of women, sex, first of all, they say you can have sex after baby after like 6 weeks. And from a lot of the women that I've spoken to, 6 weeks is not enough time, right? But after 6 weeks, our partners are like, okay, it's time. I'm ready to make another one. And it's like, no, wait, I'm not. Things are weird. Like stuff is happening down there. I'm not ready, right? And the number one thing that I hear from women is that sex is painful after a baby, right? And there are a few different reasons for why sex might be painful, but the number one reason is dryness. So if you're having sex and you're feeling dry after sex, that's because, not dry, you're feeling sore after sex, like, ooh, he beat it up. No, girl, you needed some lube, okay? Because vaginas, they stretch, right? So there is no like level of penis, like babies come out of vaginas, like out of vaginal canal. So there's no penis that's gonna like stretch it so much that it's sore. No, that's friction rubbing up against your delicate lady parts and causing microabrasions or little tiny cuts on the inside of your vagina and your lips, which opens you up to bacterial infections, yeast infections, urinary tract infections. So if you're noticing that you're having recurring infections and you're also having soreness after sex, it's likely because you need lubricants.
Well, and with some of the lubricants, like they're scented or flavored and all that other stuff. And I know like with your wash, it should be like unscented. So what do you recommend for like lubes and mention that?
So there's two different routes you can go. Firstly, whatever lube you use, if it's a store-bought lube, it should be water-based and it should be pH safe, meaning not sweetened with any sugars or any kind of sweeteners, nothing like that, right? There's two brands that I highly recommend, and they do have flavored versions, but their flavored ones are sweetened with stevia root, which is closer to our natural pH than sugar and sucralose and man-made sugars, right? So they're called Sliquid, like liquid, but with an S in front of it. So Sliquid, that's a lube that's made by women and for women. And the next one is called Wicked, Wicked, like evil, but Wicked Sensual Self-Care. Wicked Sensual Care. And they have a line of lubes and gels that you can use. But These are all water-based and pH safe, meaning our vaginas our pH balance is between 3.5 and 4.5 for a healthy vagina. So when you're using lube that's a 7 on the pH scale or an 8 on the pH scale, which is close to water, water is a 7, okay? Semen is like an 8. But when you're introducing these higher pH level substances into our lower pH level environment, it causes odors, bacteria, and yeast infections. So you do have to be really careful. That's a really good note. Like, you have to be careful about what you put into your vagina. Again, water-based, pH safe. So if you're gonna go store-bought, liquid or wicked, okay? Now, if you're gonna go natural, which I think is a great option too, coconut oil is a really great lubricant, okay? Now, if you're using condoms as a method of birth control, do not, I repeat, do not use coconut oil, because oils break down the latex in a condom. So if you are using oils, do not use latex condoms. You can use polyisoprene or polyurethane, but not latex condoms. And if you're allergic to latex and you're not using polyisoprene or polyurethane, and you're like trying to use lambskin or sheepskin because it sounds natural, know that that is not going to protect you from STIs or STDs, but it will protect you from pregnancy, but not from STIs or STDs, because they're porous. So that means the fluid from your partner is going to penetrate through those pores, and so any STIs or infections that are in there are going to get to you.
See, I know, like, when we first, interact with sex, or like, the education part, we do learn about the different types of like condoms and all that other stuff. But I wonder, like, how much people retain, and do they just go with what they know and stuff like that? There's just something that popped in my head, because I'm like, I've heard this stuff a while ago, but when you get older, you get stuck in your ways of what you use for whatever protection. So I'm happy we're doing this as a refresher for some of us ladies.
Well, also because like they teach us about condoms, like male condoms, but they don't teach us about female condoms, which I find to be a lot more pleasant and enjoyable for everyone. And a female condom is just a condom that you put inside of your body up to an hour before you have sex. And it sticks out a little bit, just a little bit out of the, you can see it from the vulva. But when you're ready, it just creates a barrier on the inside of your body. So it's not like a condom that will break. It's literally like it's like a bigger condom, but for the inside of your body. So your partner can ejaculate inside of it. You can put lube in it and be as wet as you want to be. They're really great. I love female condoms, especially when I'm ovulating. So.
And then you find them in the store with the regular male condoms, or do you?
No, so that's the problem, right? Like, no one really talks about female condoms, so the demand isn't high. So you're not going to be hard pressed to find it at like a CVS or a Walgreens, but you can order them online, and they have a subscribe and save. They're super cheap. Like FC2 condoms are the name of the company that I like the most, but there are a couple other companies out there. But I know that FC2s, they do the subscribe and save, and they'll just ship to you just like Amazon.
Okay. Good to know. Definitely good to know. So what about, I know you mentioned the sex after baby, how it's different, how, the abrasions and all that other stuff, and we could potentially have, stuff happen down there. Yeah. So what about talking with our partner? Because, as you mentioned, like right after sex, they say, right after having a baby, they say 6 weeks, and your partner's like, knock, 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 let's go. But you may feel some type of way, emotionally, physically, all of that. So can we hop into that topic as well?
Yes. I think this is a great one, because I think we look at sex as like this, right? This is sex. And that's not sex. Like, that's one way to have sex, but it's not the only way to have sex, right? And so if you're experiencing pain, especially with penetration, and it's hard for you to say that to your partner, right? Or you're feeling frustrated, right? It's like, oh, I don't want you to penetrate me. And he's like, well, then what are we supposed to do? We can't have sex. But you can. There's a lot of different ways. Non-penetrative sex is an actual thing. Like, you can have sex with a person without being penetrated, and that can look like them putting their penis in between the legs with lots of lube, right? But putting their penis in between the legs, and then it feels good to them, but it also rubs up against your clitoris and feels good to you too. And if you both orgasm, guess what? That was sex, and no one was penetrated, and they're right? So this, you gotta think about, like, retrain your brain to think about, what does sexual pleasure look like really for me? Just because you're not able to have sex in the traditional way doesn't necessarily mean that sex is off of the table, right? We talk about oral sex. I talk about oral sex all the time, but like non-penetrative sex and the use of sex toys can really help, right? So maybe it's, you buy a sex toy, like a something that's really, not intimidating, like a small bullet vibrator, right? And you can use it on yourself while you're pleasing your partner, or your partner can use it on you while you're pleasing your partner, or you guys can mutually masturbate, because that's sex too, right? So there's a lot of different ways to get around, like, okay, penetration hurts. Let's try something different, right? So the conversation starts with, hey, this hurts, but also here's a solution, right? Because when you don't come to the table with at least some kind of solution, it becomes like a fight, like a bridge in your marriage that's starting to, you know, fall away. And so when you can address it head on and say, okay, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling pain, or I'm feeling a low libido, or like I'm feeling like you didn't wash the dishes yesterday, so I'm not in the mood to have sex with you. But it's like, hey, look, these are the things that would get me in the mood. Maybe if we use the toy, or maybe if you wash the dishes, or you know what I mean? Like, I need some help. And so I think it's important to say, look, I love being with you, right? I want to be with you. This is what's stopping me from being with you. Here's a solution to how we can be together.
Got it. Got it. Thank you for that. Because I know, the whole topic of sex can be hard to even talk with your partner, which is weird. You should be able to talk to them or want to talk to them about it. But, everybody's in their emotions sometimes. But yeah, no, that was really helpful. So what's next for you? Like, I know you mentioned you have the different classes and stuff like that. So tell me more about what you offer, and
Yeah.
people can stay in contact with you.
Yeah. So we offer public classes. Right now we're doing everything virtual. So we're doing public classes on oral sex, so fellatio, below his mind fellatio 101. We also have a companion class called How to Eat Cake, Cunnilingus 101. So you both could take the classes if you wanted to. And then we have some couples courses, like couples pleasure mapping, 50 Shades of Play, an introduction to kink. And these uh, couples only classes. So these are classes that are private sessions. So they're just for one couple and the consultant. And it's it's a 90-minute session. And couples are able to just explore what they like, where their likes overlap. And then they make these visual models of like what they want sex to look like with each other. And it's just a really like low lift, no shame way to say, hey, sex between us could be better. Let's explore what that looks like based on what we already like, right? And so if that sounds like something that you want to do, our classes are our workshop classes are $40. And our private sessions start at $199, and that's for the 90-minute session. And so if you're looking to explore with your partner or on your own, you can find all of this info at www.sexpertconsultants.com/events, and you'll see all of our public and private.
So I know like one of these lucky ladies that are here are going to be able to get into one of your workshops or events or classes. Is the private one included, or is the public ones? So just that they're aware.
So the public classes are included. So any of the public facing classes that you see, we also do an event called Women Uncorked, which is kind of just like this, but you ask whatever questions you want, and it can be anonymously, or you can use your words. And we do that twice a month on every second and fourth Wednesday. So if you have specific questions, or you just want to bring your girl and have some wine and really talk about some sex and issues that you've been working through, then that you can apply that too. So any of our public workshops and events.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I want to open it up to our participants to see if anyone has any questions. You can either put it in the chat or unmute yourself if there's any questions. I know sometimes silence is concurrence, and there may not be any. So if you do have questions and you didn't raise your hand, I'm going to, thank you, Monique. I'm going to pick the lucky winner of who is going to get 2 tickets to Reba's event that she has. Well, you get a chance to pick one of the public events.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, Reba.
I was just saying, you pick whichever one you want, whether it's our oral sex workshops or our Women on Court. I'm happy to have you in the frame.
Awesome. Thank you. So I have everyone's name that's participating here today, and I'm fair. I don't do any favoritism. And the person who won, Monique. So Monique, and Reba, I will put you two in an email so that you guys could connect. My little one is right on time with knocking at the door. Nobody's home. So this is so funny how you came down at this time.
Right when we finish. She's got great timing.
Exactly. So as promised, when I do my mom talk, I try to keep it, at a decent time frame, because as moms, stuff like this happens when your little one is knocking at the door. But I host this once a month. Next month, I'm going to have a holistic registered nurse come on to talk about how we build our immune system before outside opens up. Because yes, Trinique, you hear the knocking, but please, no thank you. Okay, so the registered nurse, her name is Sonora Allwood. She'll be on talking about how to build up your immune system, because when outside opens back up, you want to be able to dip and dodge whatever is going on with other people. So I have my package from her that I recently got to build up our immune system, and from there she will be here next month. So I know, like, he has not done this the 6 months that I've been doing this. Like he's just like, oh yeah, you really into the topic? Okay. So that is that. But if I see some more comments. Okay, that was Monique that came in. So yeah, thank you all for joining, and I like hosting this. And if there's any topics that you want to talk about, feel free to email me and contact me in any way, or you can put it on my chat. I mean, not my chat. You can put it here, or you can put it in. No worries, Shanique. You can put it in my DM or something like that, so that I want to bring people within my network to you that have great information and great resources. And Reba is one of them. So if there's any topic, let me know. And Reba, I want to thank you for accepting my invite.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
And I look forward to coming to one of your classes, or maybe a few, because it was some good topics there. I may need a refresher or two. So everyone, thank you. Be safe. And I just wish you all peace and blessings to you and yours. And let me go attend to this little one. He stopped knocking. But
that's because he mad now. He mad because you ignored him. He gonna tell on you.
He may be listening, or we may have been upstairs. I don't know. So I was thinking, there he goes. The life of a mom, right? We can laugh at it because we've all been there. But thank you, everyone. Latisha, did you have any questions or want to say something?
No, if I did have questions, my little one is sitting beside me, so I would have to type them in.
Okay, Reba, are you okay with me sharing your email address?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. Of course. Yes. Oh,
Tyree said he wants siblings. He has god sisters and god brother and cousins that he calls his siblings. So that's it. I'm one and done, ladies. One and done. He's trying to put things under the door now. Let me. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations, Monique and Reba. I appreciate you, and I will see you all next month. Oh, before I go, just want to shout out a couple of people that are here that have some things going on Marcia has Marcia Speaks every Thursday at 8:30, and she has good topics and good speakers. So go to her page. It's Marcia Speaks. That's on Instagram. And then Monique has Shop M. Ross. She has her spring capsule out. Last month I said she had her summer capsule, but it was a spring capsule. So check her out, and let's continue to support one another, because we all are doing great things. And if I forgot to mention anything else anybody else is doing, please don't put it on my heart, put it on my mind, because I need to get to him and see what's going on. Okay? All right. Talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.